Hey y'all, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new here or you stumbled upon my page or channel, I hope that you'll check me out, check this video out, and then consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm your girl EVE, and this is the Effect. Okay, I know I look crazy. I'm starting off this video very different from any other video that I've started, but I am getting ready because I'm gonna sit down and talk to y'all. But I was like, why don't I just start this whole process with y'all? So let me say this. Because I feel like this video is gonna be all over the place a little bit, I figured why not just come along? I do have an errand that I need to run, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get myself together, run my errand, and then we can sit down and chat. Not sure if I don't think I'm gonna bring y'all with me on the errand because this video is not meant to be a vlog. It's a video, mini vlog type sit down video. Figured I'd change it up, switch it up, do something different. So yeah, let's chat really quick. I am putting on my skin tint. This is the Fenty skin tint in the number 18. Y'all, I have not really been a fan of foundation like all summer. So I've tried to avoid wearing like especially thick, heavy foundation because one, is too freaking hot, especially in Texas. And for two, I want my skin to breathe, but I do want my skin to look even and still look like skin, if you will. So I just brought this back out. This is old. I should be shamed, but this is all I got, okay? I'm not a makeup girl, which is why I never really do get ready with me videos, because that is not my calling, y'all. I do the same thing. I don't know why I just did that, because I don't really put makeup on my forehead either. I wanted to go ahead and open this up and just talk about the fact that 2025 is like moving and grooving quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's almost like this year has crack in it, okay? The rate at which this year has blown by just boggles my mind. I felt like 2024 went fast, but nah. 2024 ain't got nothing on what this year is doing, y'all. We are basically at the halfway mark of September, and after that, it's basically Thanksgiving, basically Christmas, basically New Year's, basically 2026. Like, my goodness gracious. I know that with us transitioning out of summertime, which I still can't believe, we're headed into fall. That means we are gearing up for our deeper, more sultry, spicier scents. And while fall is typically my favorite season, for whatever reason, I'm not necessarily geeked or excited about it. And I'm not really sure why. I'm not saying that I want to bask in this sweltering heat for another month, but I don't know. I'm not quite ready per se for fall. Like, I just feel like the year needs to slow down, like pump the brakes. I don't know. I probably should call this fragrance chat and yap, catch up and yap, something like that, child. But this is totally off topic. But to my creator friends, do you cringe when you play back your video? Like, I cringe every time I hear my voice on screen. And I've been extra hoarse the last few days, so I know I'm sounding extra horsey right now. But I just cringe when I do the playback, when I'm editing, when I'm just doing all the things and I have to hear my voice outside of me talking, hear it on the screen. Let me know if you feel the same way about your voice, or is it just me? I don't know why it is, but so like I said, I want to sit down and talk to y'all about a couple new fragrances that have been added to my collection. But before we talk about and it's not a whole lot, y'all. Y'all know I'm not doing the whole haul type deal. So consider this a haul video, if you will. But I have added some things in my collection, but not without purging, okay? I did do a mini drive-by of my collection, and I was just sniffing things, and I stumbled upon fragrances that I hadn't sniffed in a long time. And so I'm just thinking to myself, okay, girl, We're trying to be a better steward of our resources. If you really want to add something new to your collection, you're going to have to sit and think about what is here that you already have that you ain't using. Okay? And if you ain't using it, why? So that's what I did. And I came up with a handful of fragrances that I decided to let go. So before we get into what's new in my collection, I'm going to quickly share some fragrances that I got rid of. And it's going to be a quick fire kind of deal. I'm not going to go into depth and detail as to why I decluttered. I decluttered it because I decluttered it. Yo, I swear sometimes I'm trying to do like 10,000 things at one time. But look at my hair. I'm officially a mushroom. Okay? I'm officially a mushroom. But I'm okay with that. She is growing. I'm still torn on whether or not I want to go back to Pixie Land. I did have a lot of fun with my short hair. But again, just thinking about my everyday lifestyle and working out is something that I'm not giving up for the sake of my hair. Like, I want my hair and I want to work out because I like to eat, okay? And I still want to look like I'm doing something, okay? So I am still in this in-between stage. I'm embracing it as best as I can, but I am happy that I can just finally get back into my scalp. You guys know I was wearing like a quick weave for a little bit. I had gone to Paris this summer and then just other things. I got braids for my last trip. So I really hadn't had a whole lot of access to my scalp, but now we are free and we are relaxed. Because the way my roots were rooting, I could not struggle any longer with the two different textures. So I had to go ahead and let it lay down. So clearly we are outside. I did finish running my errands. I also got a chance to stop by Victoria's Secret and get my nose on their new vanilla drop. And it's called Sueded Vanilla Bear. Y'all, it's really pretty. I really like this. Now, I didn't get a chance to spray it on my skin because I'm already wearing a fragrance and I don't want to interrupt the vibe that I'm already giving today because I smell so good. But Vanilla Bear, it's good. It's really good. Sometime this week, I'm going to try to go back and spray it on skin. I didn't want to jump the gun and just buy a fragrance just because I like it on paper. Not saying I haven't done that in the past, but I didn't want to do that this time. But I'm really enjoying how it's coming off on this paper. It's a vanilla that gives a cozy vibe. I also feel like there's something like maybe cashmere or something. You guys know I love the note of cashmere in my fragrances. And that's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. Cozy, cuddly, like Netflix and chill type of vanilla. I really, 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 really like this. So I'm going to come back, test it on skin. I may or may not pick it up for the fall, but off first sniff and first impression, yeah, it's good. Getting into what I've let go of or decluttered. First one up is from Byron Perfumes, and it's the Chronic, y'all. Now, like I said, I did a mini drive-by, sniff-by of my collection, and I realized that I hadn't worn that in quite a bit. I want to say a year and a half. I hadn't grabbed for it, and I was at the halfway mark, and I was like, girl, go ahead and let that go. So that wasn't too difficult of a decision for me, so I decided to go ahead and give that one up. The next one I let go of was For Your Love from Maison Sur. That one for sure, I hadn't sprayed that in well over a year. And For Your Love, I think I've heard it being compared to Baccarat Rouge 540, but to me, I could see that, but to me, I don't compare it to that because it has more of an effervescent feel. It's more airier. But it also took my mind to a fragrance from Tiziana Terenzi. It's in a red suede bottle. If I can remember to put the picture up or the name up, I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. But I bought that fragrance and I declared that one as well because I felt like it was overrated. So when I went back to sniff For Your Love, it reminded me of that fragrance. So I went ahead and let that one go because of those two reasons. I hadn't sprayed it in a very long time and it reminded me of that Tiziana Terenzi fragrance. So there was no need in me keeping it, you know? So these next two kind of might be a surprise, kind of. First one being Sand Dance from Stefan Humbert Lucas. This one was kind of a shocker to me, but I decided to let this go because something switched or flipped. I was picking up a note of chocolate, like intensely. And I'm not a big fan of chocolate in my fragrances. I don't even remember if cacao is a note in the fragrance or if chocolate is indeed a note listed in the fragrance. But the last 2 times that I wore it, that cacao or that chocolate note was blaring at me. And the very last time that I wore it, I felt some sense of nausea. And I was like, okay, girl. Like, it's not worth holding on to a fragrance that's making you feel away. So I don't know what has changed, but my nose is picking up that chocolate note and we don't vibe like that. So I decided to go ahead and let that one go. And then the other one is Marfa from Memo Paris. Y'all, this one took me a minute to decide on saying, yes, I'm going to let it go. Because I thoroughly enjoy the fragrance, or I have enjoyed the fragrance, but I realized I hadn't reached for this one in a while either. So when I went back to revisit, I wore it. I still liked it, but it didn't move me the same like it used to move me. Like, I used to get excited about this fragrance, and for whatever reason, the vibe is just not giving the same vibe that it was giving in the past, you know? So I ruminated on it. I was like, do I keep it and see if my feelings change eventually, or do I just let it go? So ultimately, I decided to let it go. Will I regret it in the future? Probably. If I was going to regret any of them, it would probably be that one. I'm okay with the indecision of letting it go. It was a beautiful fragrance, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't giving the same thing that it was giving when I had it the last couple of years. So she had to go. All right, so now let's touch on some fragrances that are no longer in my collection, but not because of a declutter, but because I used it all up, okay? The first one, and I've talked about this on my channel before, but this is Young Rose. I showed you guys when I was nearing the end, but now she is completely done, y'all, and I'm kind of sad about it because I absolutely love Young Rose. This to me is happiness in a bottle. Every time I have worn this, almost every time, honestly, that I can remember, I've got a compliment on how good and vibrant and fresh I smelled. This to me is a fragrance that I definitely would love to re-up on. It's not on my priority list as of now since we are transitioning into fall, but y'all, absolutely love this one. Like I said, I am sad that it's finally done. I twisted this thing every which way to get every last drop out of here as much as I could because you guys like to clock the juice that be left at the bottom that you can't get. Okay, just know that I tried my very best to get every last drop of this out, and she is donezo. And then the other fragrance that I got through was You Do from Glossier. Now, you guys know, if you've been watching me, that I picked this up earlier this year, okay? Young Rose, I want to say I've had this maybe 3 years, 2-3 years. This a few months and it's already done. I absolutely love this fragrance, but this fragrance profile is one of my faves anyways. Also, if you've been watching me for quite some time, you know that I am a stan for Another 13. I don't have that in my collection right now, but it's one that I've had for about 4 going on 5 years. And I like to pick that up around my birthday, but because I missed the window of my birthday, because of the label, I want to wait until 2026 to pick it up again, God willing. So in the interim, I needed something that kind of gave me that same vibe. So I decided to pick this one up. And honestly, it didn't disappoint. This to me is a little bit more woodier than Another 13, less molecular, more woodier in my opinion, but there's a creamy facet to this that I just thoroughly enjoyed. And so yeah, I ran through this like this was water. Okay, but thoroughly enjoy it. Am I going to re-up on this? I don't know. I don't think so. It has satisfied that craving of that Another 13 vibe, but there's something else that I think will happily take the place of this same scent profile. That something else, honestly, is Angel Dust from Fugazi. Now, I finally got around to sampling this scent. And shout out to my girl Tresses of Alexis, because I did pick this up from Twisted Lilly using her discount code. She's also the one who put this on my radar, y'all, and I'm not disappointed. So this also sits in the same family as You Do and Another 13, but they all have different characteristics that make them special. And although this is just a 2 ml sample, it has an impression on me good enough to make me want a full-size bottle. So this also, again, gives that aromatic, that everyday your scent but better type of vibe. But this has something spicy in the opening, and I'm not sure if it's a spicy component, but there's a spicy component that I get in the opening. This is really good. It's woody. It has that aromatic feel. I don't know that this has any ambroxan or molecular notes in it, but of the three, to me, Another 13 has the most molecular vibe, and then I would say You Do. And based on this 2 ml sample, actually maybe this sits in the middle between You Do and Another 13, but I definitely want a full-size bottle, and then I can fully gauge on who sits where. But I love all three of them. I really enjoyed this. And like I said, the characteristic in this one, that spicy opening, fresh, effervescent, just the wear all together is absolutely beautiful. Now, I will also say that I feel like this one comes off a little bit more woodier to me. A crispier wood is what I get versus You Do. You Do is a bit creamier if I compare the two. So I do like how crisp this woodsy fragrance is. I would say that this one, to me, unisex, of course, but it has a little bit more of a masculine touch because that woody aspect is a bit more crisper, sharper. Overall, thoroughly enjoyed this 2 ml sample. So a full-size bottle is definitely on the list for the future, hopefully sooner rather than later. So let's finally get into some actual full-size bottles that are newer to the collection rather. This first one, I am going to call it A Beautiful Mistake. And there's actually a song by Carrie Hilson called Beautiful Mistake. I don't know if y'all have ever heard it, but this is a beautiful mistake in a good way, okay? So this first fragrance is from Maison Mataha, and this is called Printemps Blanc. Now, the reason why this is my beautiful mistake, and this is a first for me, y'all, but I was not checking for this fragrance. Not at all. I had never heard of Printemps Blanc. I actually was trying to get Escapade Gourmand. All right. So what had happened was I was perusing and I was adding to cart. So I had added this to my cart. I added another fragrance to my cart, and I let it sit there and let it marinate. And I think we're all familiar with adding things to our cart and coming back a day later, a few days later, revisiting, just, making sure that what we're about to purchase is really what we want to purchase. So I went back maybe 2 or so days later, not that long, but the cart emptied itself. So I had to go back and refill my cart with my items. And so at this point, I'm going off of muscle memory, okay? Clicking where I remembered I clicked last time to put the items back in my cart. So I put my first fragrance in. I put what I thought was Escapade Gourmand. And again, I'm just going off the picture. So I put said fragrance in the cart, checked out, got my confirmation email and everything. Now, mind you, it's also 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm half asleep at this point. Get my package, open up my package, my first fragrance, I open it, bam, love it, okay? I open this up. Y'all, I'm not even really looking at the outer package. All I see is Maison Mataha. So I open this out the box, I spray it. I'm like, hold up. I don't remember sampling this fragrance. This isn't the sample, vibe from the sample that I remember. And I also remember everybody raving about this beautiful vanilla gourmand fragrance. This ain't a gourmand fragrance. So then I look at the plaque and I look at the outer packaging. It clearly states Printemps Blanc. And I'm like, EVE, I know you didn't. Yes, I did. But y'all, as this is wearing on my body, I'm like, I'm not really mad at it. I'm not really mad at it. This is okay. This is different. It wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't what I thought I bought because I clearly thought I was getting Escapade Gourmand. But instead of this being a super sugary, gourmandy-ish type of vanilla, this is more of a chilled, relaxed vanilla. And it has a note of tea. And I think it's that tea note that is intriguing me so much. I can't really explain or describe how tea smells, but when you smell it, you just kind of know, right? So I picked that up almost immediately after it like settled on my skin. I was like, oh, this has a beautiful tea note. There's something creamy about it. Like I said, the vanilla is not super thick, y'all, but it's beautiful. So I call this my beautiful mistake because this was purchased in error because I wasn't reading the label like I should have, because I should have been asleep clearly. But this was a beautiful surprise, a beautiful mistake. And I am going to give it a few more wears so I can give a thorough review about this maybe in the future. But I've worn this about 3 times now and I have enjoyed it every single time that I've worn it. Like I said, that tea note to me is what primarily stands out. And yeah, I can dig this one. Now, do I still want Escapade Gourmand? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, but I am not mad that I got this one instead. All right, so the other fragrance that was in my cart along with Printemps Blanc was Vanilla Powder Extrait, y'all. Ooh, I talked about this in my last video. This was on my radar and I was too geeked, okay, about securing the bottle and adding it to my collection. Spoiler alert, y'all. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this so much. You guys know that the original vanilla powder was like my best purchase. I ranked that as my best purchase of 2024. She's good too. Okay. She is really good too. And speaking of the original vanilla powder, to show you guys how much I love it, look at my dent and look at how dark that juice is. But my dent is real and I was ready to essentially prepared to re-up on this. So when Vanilla Powder Extrait was on the radar to come out, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta check that out. And I knew that I was gonna cop it. So I finally got it and I'm excited about it. Now, I'm not gonna go into comparing the Extrait to the original. I think I'm going to do a dedicated comparison video on that, but just know that I thoroughly enjoy the Extrait version and it does have the same DNA as the original. But like I said, I may do a separate video just going and discussing the details and the intricacies that make them different. But that was a win for me. All right. So lastly, we have added Angel Share on the rocks, y'all. And look at this beautiful frosted bottle. I just wish that they had the top that was frosted as well. That would be so fly of a bottle, but I'm not going to complain too much because I am finally excited to have a version of Angel Share in my collection. So the original version is one that is a cult favorite. I know so many people love that fragrance and I can appreciate that fragrance from afar. But for me, it has too much cinnamon. I'm not a huge fan of a cinnamon note in a fragrance. That will definitely deter me from picking it up. That's also why I don't own Side Effects from Initio. That's also a beautiful fragrance, but it's the cinnamon for me, dog. It's the cinnamon. I can't do an exuberant amount of cinnamon. It has to be done right in a fragrance for me to be able to take it. Definitely hit the nail on the mark for me. I'm glad there is finally a rendition that I can own and have in my collection. Now, comparing this to the original, this is not as sweet. This is not as thick as the original. The original is thick. Okay, she's boozy, she's thick, super sweet. This is not that. This has a vibe that I don't know if I can really articulate it, but there on the rocks definitely gives you a cooling sensation, a refreshing sensation. That's the word. This is refreshing compared to the original, okay? This has a refreshing and cooling sensation that I absolutely adore. So this opens up with a few citrus notes, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked and delved into the notes at all, really. I'm just experiencing the juice of this and I'm loving it every bit, okay? I'm actually actually wearing this today, which is why I didn't want to spray the Sueded Vanilla Bear on my skin, because I'm loving how this is coming off of my body. As this dries down though, you still get that same DNA of the original, but less intense, less thick, less syrupy. It's beautiful to me, okay? And I feel like you can wear this year round. I see how this would give more of a summer grab versus the original. Again, we can all establish that the original is just too hot, heavy, and thick and spicy, honey, to be worn every which way, all willy-nilly. You have to pick that up in cooler temps. Whereas this one will give you the same vibe, but it's lighter, it's more refreshing, and you can grab for this year round, in my opinion. So I would be interested to see how this also plays in super cool temps. We don't really get a winter here, but we do get cold days. So I'll have this on my radar to grab on those colder days just to see what kind of vibe I get as well. But today, honey, this is a love. It was a love at first sniff. And you guys know I also own Apple Brandy on the Rocks. That fragrance was not a love at first sniff for me. That fragrance also took me a while to fall in like, and then I'm not in love with that fragrance. But I love this one. And I think I love it because there's another version actually. There's a Angel Share Paradise. They actually released that earlier this year. I'm kind of shocked that they released two flankers that close to each other. But there is also Angel Share Paradise, and I did get my nose on that as well. That also has a clear cinnamon note that's striking to me, but there's an added fruit of raspberry that I also got from that fragrance. Again, I can appreciate it from afar, and I just knew it wasn't for me because that cinnamon was just so intense. But for me, they got it right with this version because, I don't know, this just comes off cooling, refreshing, and it's my vibe. So if you enjoy the original, do I think you would like this one? I'm not really sure, because if you enjoy the original, then you're a fan of something thick, heavier, boozy, whereas this still gives you that boozy sensation, but it's scaled way back. It's more refreshing. It's a cooler vibe, okay? I'm a chill kind of girl, okay? I don't bother nobody if you don't bother me. And that's how this fragrance is to me, okay? Absolutely love this one. This was a love at first sniff, so I am happy to have this one in my collection. All right, y'all, so that wraps up this video that was all over the place, but it was productive, if I do say so myself. But now that we're transitioning into fall, y'all, what are you ready for? What are you ready to grab? I feel like there are so many releases for 2025. 2024 had a lot of releases, but 2025 is coming in heavy, okay? So is there a new release that you are just ready to pick up as we move into the fall season? If so, let me know what that is in the comments down below, so that way I can also have my eye on what I need to potentially look out for as well. Let me know what that is down below, okay? Also, I wanted to give a shout out to my girl, Kim. So I ran into beautiful supporter. Ran into her, like 2, maybe 3 months ago. It was one early morning at the gym, girl. Beautiful skin, beautiful hair, beautiful woman. Okay, so Kim, if you are watching, hey girl, hey, thank you so much for coming up to me and speaking. I truly appreciate when I get to meet you guys in real life. So thank you for the love and continued support, okay? So until the next time, you guys, thank you so much for watching and for rocking with your girl. Until the next time, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.